Alright gang, we've got another big boatload of fragrances that we're going to talk about today. There's a ton of stuff that's going to drop soon if they haven't already dropped. We've got designers, niche houses, luxury, budget, you name it. Everything is on the table here. Lots of good stuff, sounding good stuff, but I don't know how good these are going to be. We're just going to have to wait to get our nose on these. But I'm going to tell you about 20 new fragrances on the horizon coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Sebastian, talking to you about brand spanking new fragrances that are soon to launch. Is there something that you guys are looking for, that you're really excited about? Add a comment below so I can find out what that fragrance is. But the first fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is a upcoming fragrance from the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian. There's no info on it whatsoever out there. This is from rumor, but I believe it's coming. I haven't seen it anywhere, so I've just told by some folks that I know. A new Maison Francis Kurkdjian fragrance called KURKY. I don't know how it's spelled. I'm assuming it's spelled K-U-R-K-I, and I guess this is a nickname that Francis Kurkdjian had from his grandmother in their naming the fragrance KURKY. This is what I have heard. Do you guys know anything about this? And apparently the fragrance itself, which I got a whiff of, but very last stages of the actual fragrance lasting on something because I didn't have a sample. I was just given a sniff. And it's a young appealing fragrance. So it's I thought maybe it might be a children's fragrance or a baby fragrance, just like Francis Kurkdjian created for Dior last year or the year before. And so I thought it might be that, but I was told it's not a baby or child perfume. It's for people, but it just leans young. If you've gotten your nose on this one, do let us know what it smells like. Because like I said, I only got a quick whiff of something that was like on its way out. And I'm looking forward to get my nose on this one as well. But moving on to the real fragrances that I'm going to report to you on, there's a LABO fragrance called Eucalyptus 20. Now, I'm a fan of the smell of eucalyptus. Absolutely love it here on the coast. When it's raining, you can smell the leaves and the earth and the wetness of the rain. It's one of my favorite smells. And I love the idea of eucalyptus, but I don't know how they're going to do it over at LABO. And also, I'm not sure if this is a city exclusive or if it's a official fragrance. If you guys have any idea, add a comment. It's Gurjan Balsam, Hyssop, Olibanum, Eucalyptus, Cedar, Red Thyme, Labdanum, and Musk. The last several LABO fragrances have been underwhelming. I'm hoping this is going to be something that's really, really great and exciting. Who knows? Moving on to AESOP or AESOP, it's AURNER, a new fragrance created by Celine Barel. I believe Celine Barel created Tacit for the brand, and then they had Barnaby Fillion creating a lot of their fragrances since this one, AURNER. And so I'm curious to get my nose on AURNER. I've met Celine Barel. She's a very nice perfumer. I believe she works at IFF still. This is Pink Pepper, Cedar, Cardamom, Sandalwood, Geranium, Magnolia, Leaves. Who's a fan of AESOP's fragrances? Do let us know. And I've been meaning to compile a video overview on the entire collection. Maybe if I get a chance before I leave to Europe, I'll do it, but it is a pretty big collection now. And maybe this is launched by the time I'm in Europe, we'll see. So the next fragrance is a new fragrance from the house of MAITRE Parfumeur at Gantier. It's AMBRE Capucine. So AMBRE Capucine is the latest amber fragrance from the house, and it's featuring notes of Cistus, Peru balsam, myrrh, vanilla, tonka beans, heliotrope, geranium, vetiver, musk, patchouli, coriander, orange, and thyme. This might be number 6 amber fragrance from the house. Most likely they're probably going to get rid of something or redoing something. I don't know how many more amber fragrances can they launch. I absolutely love this house. I love all their ambers. My favorite is Ambre Presso. Let's see what Ambre Capucine is all about. So it seems that there's a brand spanking new feminine targeted release from CACHAREL called Ella Ella, created by Dominique Ropian. Cute little bottle. I can't wait to get my nose on this and see what it's all about. It's orange blossom, coconuts, vanilla, jasmine, sambac, patchouli, and bergamot. You know, I'm a big fan of Dominique Ropian's creations, so that's one of the reasons why I'm excited about this. I haven't really spoke about CACHAREL, so I don't know what they're really doing lately, but I'm quite intrigued with this one, and let's see what Dominique Dominique Roupillon has done. But moving on to another feminine targeted release, this is from the house of Estee Lauder, is Bronze Goddess AEGEA. And this is a flanker to the very popular Bronze Goddess from Estee Lauder. It's bougainvillea, coconut, bergamot, ylang-ylang, jasmine sambac, violet leaves, figs, musk, sandalwood. So I'm assuming this is a Greek or Mediterranean Sea inspired flanker to Bronze Goddess. And we shall see how it is. Are you guys fans of Bronze Goddess? Which flanker do you enjoy? But Clive Christian has a new fragrance called L Red Tea Vetiver, and it has notes of rooibos tea, bergamot, vetiver, lemons, musk, and sandalwood. And who's a fan of the Clive Christian collection of fragrances? I think Blonde Amber is really, really great, and there's a few others that I really enjoy from the house, and I'm quite curious to get my nose on this. As of late, they've been doing some really nice potent fragrances, and they used to be a little bit more classical leaning, and they've rebranded and taken the brand into more of a luxury, intense kind of fragrance experience. But we shall see what Red Tea Vetiver is all about. If you have gotten your nose on it, do let us know. What's your favorite Clive Christian fragrance? I'd like to find out. Next, we've got another one from 4711. This is called Aqua Colonia Fig and Vetiver, created by Leonardo Lucchesi, and it's fig fruits, fig leaves, and vetiver. So these are fairly simplistic fragrances. I do enjoy several of them. I have a big collection of them that I bought from discounters. They don't really ever make it here that we can go to a store and buy them, so I have to buy them at the discounters. So I will be in Austria and maybe very briefly in Germany this coming trip. I'd like to explore some of these fragrances at some of their drugstores to see if there's any worth buying when I come back. But I've done a video on this line, and you know I've mentioned several of their fragrances in various videos. Which ones are your favorites from the 4711 more Aqua Colonia collection? There's also the Aqua Colonia Intense collection, but let us know which are your favorites. Add a comment below. And up next, we've got a fragrance from the house of Widian. It's Samar. Middle Eastern house. This is a fragrance created by Philippine Courtier. This is oud, cloves, jasmine, vanilla, labdanum, patchouli, gardenia, cinnamon, raspberry, pink pepper, bergamot, and osmanthus. I really want to dig into this house, but for some reason there's a lot of fragrances out there. I never do. But I really like what they're doing. There's some great fragrances in the collection. They get to work with some really amazing perfumers, but I just never seem to, explore them. Let me know what are your favorites from Widian. Add a comment below. But next we're going to another flanker in the long-standing Nikos Parfums Sculpture series of fragrances. This is Nikos Parfums Sculpture Vague Dior Eau de Parfum Concentré. And this seems like a gourmand take on their, long-standing series, Sculpture series. And it has notes of cacao, powder, iris, vanilla, musk, bergamot, cinnamon, cherries, cardamom, almonds, orange blossom, patchouli, and rose. Now I did a video on the collection, go catch it. The one that was the brown bottle had a very milky tobacco vanille-like smell. That's turned out to be my favorite. Now I'm forgetting the name for some strange reason. If you've gotten your nose on Vague Dior EDP Concentrate, do let us know. The problem is we have to always wait for these fragrances to appear at discounters, so it's not really easy for us to get our noses on them until they are at the discounters. In which case we'll have to do a blind buy. But moving on to the next fragrance from the house of Hermes, it's Terre de Hermes EDP Intense. So another flanker from the long-standing Terre de Hermes collection, which is almost, I guess it'll be 20 years in 26 next year. That's when the original Terre de Hermes came out. This is a fragrance created by Christine Nagel. It's bergamot, warm woods, and lava stone. Are you guys a fan of Terre de Hermes? Do you think it was deserving to be in a 10 over 10 list of fragrances video? I don't consider it that, but maybe, who knows? I'll have to circle back to the Terre de Hermes fragrances once again. I was actually hoping for an H24 Parfum or Elixir, but we're getting a flanker in the Terre de Hermes collection. We'll see how good it is. So we've got a fragrance from the house of Lancôme. This is La Nuit Trésor Vanille Noir. The bottle looks gorgeous. The fragrance sounds really great. And it's a honeyed vanilla take on a fragrance, which sounds really, really wonderful. And I remember in the early 90s, family members, cousins used to wear Trésor, the original. But this is La Nuit Trésor. So I haven't really dug into this collection, but it's created by Amandine Clerc-Marie and Honorine Blanc. So I'm assuming it's really delicious. If you've gotten your nose on it, do let us know, but I definitely want to get my nose on this one because it sounds quite yummy. And moving on to Bulgari's Les Gemmes collection, Amunai, a new fragrance from the Les Gemmes collection, which are the more masculine offerings, but I believe this one was listed as a unisex offering, even though this collection is the masculine men's collection, and then the other bottles that are a little more sculptural are the feminine fragrances. But this is woodsy notes, black musk, and jasmine. Are you guys fans of this one? I know Tigar is the most popular, but there's a few others in the collection that are really quite great. I always forget the names of these fragrances. I don't know why. I don't know why I forget the names, but it's just the way it is. There's one with jasmine and patchouli that I really like. I've been meaning to pick it up, but there's too many fragrances out there. Moving on to another Boss bottled flanker. This is called Bold Citrus. This is a limited edition fragrance. Is this created by Annick Menardo and Suzy Laheli once again? Because the last 2 or 3 flankers, it's been them. Or 4 maybe. This is featuring notes of citron, elemi resin, and patchouli. I quite like the sound of this fragrance. Patchouli is always something I really enjoy. Elemi resin and citron, yeah, I want to get my nose on this one. And see, it comes in a nice green looking bottle. But moving on to the House of 1969, they've got 2 new fragrances. First of which is American Psycho. So American Psycho, is it inspired by the film? By the way, there's a brand out there called Zyrina. They have a fragrance called American Psycho. And if you recall, 1969 had a fragrance called Christopher Street. And there was another indie house called Charenton Macerations. They had a fragrance called Christopher Street. And so there was this big argument between the 2 brands until 1969 dropped the street off of the Christopher Street fragrance, so I think that got resolved. Now we've got American Psycho with Zyrina having already a fragrance by the name of American Psycho. Let's see if there's going to be a problem here with this. But the American Psycho from 1969 features notes of aquatic notes, bergamot, sage, carnation, jasmine, lily of the valley, pine, cedar, gaiac, amber, vetiver, sandalwood. I don't know what this fragrance smells like. There's a few of the fragrances from this house I enjoy. Sadly, I don't see them anywhere. It's a Swedish house, and I don't know. We'll see. If you are a fan of the house and enjoy some of their fragrances, let us know which they are. And if you have smelled American Psycho, let me know. Add a comment below. And then the second fragrance from 1969 is San Pedro. This one sounds really fun. It's green cactus, Lycea cubeba, peach skin, cashmere wood, vetiver, violet, white musk, Italian bergamot, lemons, and mint. This one sounds like a freshie. And again, there are some fragrances from the house I really enjoy, but there's no place for me to go smell these. When I go to Paris and go to the Printemps, this first floor upstairs where all the perfumes are, they sell them there. That's pretty much the only place I can get my nose on them. They used to be at Ministry of Scent. I haven't seen them for a while. But moving on to the house of Loewe, this is Solo Elixir. So Solo is a fragrance I've spoken about on the channel. This is the elixir version of it. And they've been cranking out elixirs. I think this might be like 6 or 7 now from the brand. This is benzoin, cinnamon, frankincense, iris, jasmine, labdanum, lavender, mandarin, nutmeg, patchouli, cistus, and tarragon. I enjoyed the original Solo. It was not like a wow fragrance. There were a few other fragrances from the house that I enjoyed more. But I always am ready to get my nose on an elixir version of a fragrance. This one sounds great. Let's see what they've done to the original Solo. But moving on to the house of Memo Paris, they have a fragrance, a new leather fragrance. What else is new? How many more leather fragrances do you think Memo Paris will launch? This one is simply called leather. So it's not African leather. Well, they already have that. It's not Russian leather. They had that. It's not Italian leather. They got those. So now it's just leather. It says leather, labdanum, iris, patchouli, vetiver, and musk. I like the idea of labdanum and iris with leather. Do you think this one might be sounding a little bit like Dior Homme Parfum? Dior Homme Intense. I don't know, but it depends. If the iris is really prominent, and the fact that it has labdanum, which is the amber in the base, and the leather, Dior Homme Parfum had it. This has patchouli. I'm looking forward to get my nose on this one because I kind of got bored of the leather fragrances because they just were cranking them out. Every single leather out there was coming out with another leather. So now this is just leather, nothing else. No country added to it. So we'll see how it is. If you've gotten your nose on it though, let us know. Add a comment below. Two more fragrances, guys. We've got one from Swiss Arabian. This is Incense 01. I believe this comes after the Tobacco 01 that launched around the same time of Vanilla Toffee, the Shagaf Vanilla Toffee. But this one, oh man, it sounds so super delicious, and I couldn't believe that they got all the notes that I'm reading added with a incense fragrance. So it's frankincense, rum, lily of the valley, figs, hazelnuts, almonds, roasted nuts, dark chocolate, vanilla, sandalwood, cedar, moss, bergamot, and juniper. This one is so exciting for me. I can't wait to get my nose on it. The tobacco I enjoyed, I didn't really love. The Shagaf Vanilla Toffee was a delicious fragrance. And this Incense 01 sounds super fantastic. I'm going to have to circle back to the tobacco and see if I, start enjoying it, if I keep trying it. But I'm excited about this Incense 01 from Swiss Arabian. If you've gotten your nose on it, do let us know. And the last fragrance I'm going to talk to you about until the bonus fragrances is Francesca Bianchi's The Essence. I think this is a limited edition fragrance. And this one also sounds exciting. Animalic notes, violets, suede, and ISOE super. Does that sound great to you guys? So I think that Francesca Bianchi is doing a lot of limited edition fragrances as of late. And when I'm saying a lot, there's been like 3 or 4, I think. And the bottle has changed for this, at least the label has. And of course, animalic notes are great. And I do enjoy some of, or several of her creations. So let's see how this fragrance is. It sounds quite nice. And I like the violet note, the suede leather, the animalic notes. It's kind of like typical for Francesca Bianchi fragrances. So this one definitely sounds exciting. But that's about it, guys. 20 fragrances that I'm quite excited for. I can't wait to get my nose on. If you've gotten your nose on these fragrances, let us know what they smell like. Add a comment below. If there's something else you're excited about, do let us know as well. Please do add a comment in the info box. But otherwise, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. Alright guys, here I left these fragrances in the bonus section. We've got 5 new fragrances from the House of Sospiro in one collection. I sampled these really quickly in Cannes where the brand was previewing their fragrances. The one that really stood out was Dolce Sonata, and I was like gaga over that one and how it smelled and how it projected. These were a bit underwhelming for me when I smelled them, although maybe because my nose was kind of shot with Dolce Sonata, these weren't jumping out at me, so I'm uncertain about these. First one is, it's called Nero Collection, and the first one is Viola, created by Dominique Mulhausen. It's clary sage, juniper, rosemary, ambergris, sandalwood, vetiver, cedar, oak moss, amber, nutmeg, incense, citruses, and pepper. This one sounds very masculine, also very aromatic and spicy and mossy. So let's see how this one is. I don't know if, I think these are already selling. I believe Zigio Perfumery here got them. I haven't gotten my nose on them since Cannes, so I'd like to see what these are all about. Next up, it's Cavatina. This is created by Elodie Bernard. It's pomegranate, sorbet, grenadine, magnolia, blackcurrant, jasmine, pink pepper, apples, freesia, mandarin, white musk, ambroxan, and rose. These are not in 100 ml bottles. These are 75 ml bottles. They're all black bottles. This one has a name that's already taken as well. Parfums Dusita has a fragrance called Cavatina. So what happens now? This is not right, and I already spoke about this with 1969 earlier. So now we've got 2 fragrances that are named after, well, they're not named after other fragrances. The name's already taken. But we'll see how the fragrance is. This next one is one that I've already heard about from someone. Sounds great to me. This one's called Ira. It's created by Natalie Templar. Incense, earthy notes, patchouli, labdanum, cumin, oriental notes, woods, amber, animalic notes, oud, dry woods, ambergris. Sounds really intense and very potent. But also the fact that it has cumin and animalic notes, that one's kind of exciting to me. Hopefully it's like a nice balance of, not overwhelming animalic notes. Otherwise it's can't be really wearable. Then we've got Diva. Elodie Bernard is the perfumer on this one. It's sandalwood, patchouli, white musk, carnation, labdanum, vanilla, iris, rose, jasmine, peach, bergamot, mandarin, ylang-ylang. So another kind of fruity fragrance. We'll see how it is. I don't know. I really like some of the fragrances of Sospiro, but sometimes when brands release like a ton of fragrances at once, I'm not sure if they put a lot of thought into and care into releasing something quality. But we'll see how these are. I mean, if it's Sospiro, some of them should be really great. The last one I'm going to talk to you about is called Farsa, created by Anne-Louise Gauthier. It's patchouli, ambergris, musk, oud, cedar, geranium, amber, cocoa, blackcurrant, pink pepper, saffron, and rum. We'll see how they are. I mean, I like the black bottles. They're really gorgeous. Their bottles are gorgeous to begin with. But I kind of prefer these bottles over the regular bottles with that kind of cloth-like material that kind of does fall apart after it, you know, a liquid or perfume gets on it, kind of separates because it's kind of thin. These bottles do seem a little better. They're shiny and they're not gonna, you know, break apart after, you know, the perfume drips on its casing or whatever that is called. So I much prefer the bottles like this over the others, but I guess they're kind of stuck with that. Who knows? I don't know. But I'm looking forward to get my nose on these. Hopefully I'll be able to make it over to ZGO Perfumery before I leave to Europe. Otherwise, I'm going to have to sample these in Milan if the brand is exhibiting at Aix-en-Provence. But if you've gotten your nose on these 5 new Sospiro fragrances, let us know. Add a comment below. Otherwise, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. As I said, we'll see you with another video very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.